Hello again, traders, and welcome back to the Hot Stocks Outlook for January 10th, 2025. Hope you all have had an excellent week out there in the financial markets. And as always, we're going to take a look at the most recent VantagePoint AI predictive forecast. So if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click on the link down in the description below and get signed up for a live demonstration so you can learn all the specifics about how these predictive technologies are helping traders make better trading decisions out in the marketplace. So as we typically start out here, we like to take a look at the S&P 500 via the SPY ETF. And really year to date in the last week, nothing much has occurred when we look at the broader stock market. We've actually seen a lot of weakness in a lot of those stocks that get the most attention, but there are some interesting things opening up. And this is where VantagePoint's tools of intermarket analysis, really that technique of intermarket analysis, looking at relationships between markets, helps traders really get ahead of some of these moves and understand where the attention is in the marketplace. So let's go ahead and start out here with really a whole bunch of energy stocks and really continuing on a theme from last week. We looked at Scorpio Tanker, and we are seeing some very strong moves out of these tanker and energy related assets. Here in Antero Resources, what we have here, of course, is daily price action, right? So each one of these candles represents a full and complete trading day. And right up against that price data, the first thing that you'll notice here is that there is a black line and also a blue line value. So what that black line value is that's actually a simple moving average. So this is a very common technical analysis tool. In this case, it's a 10 period. So it looks at the previous 10 closes, adds those all together, and then divides by that number. And that provides you a good rolling measure of where market prices have been, right? There's no really predictive capability there. And what we're able to do is really use that as a baseline and combine that with the predictive indicators generated via VantagePoint's approach. And so what we want to do is compare that black moving average to this proprietary predicted moving average. And for this number to get calculated and plotted on the chart every evening, well, this is where the technology of artificial neural networks come into play. And they're performing what we would call intermarket analysis. And so what that means is specifically for every market in VantagePoint, there's really dozens of known intermarkets that drive and influence future prices. And so this can be things like other individual energy stocks. This can be things like energy ETFs, but it's also going to look globally at things like the oil and natural gas markets on the commodity side. It'll even look at things like currencies and interest rates. So it takes this global approach looking at all the relevant markets and then produces highly accurate predictive indicators to help traders make better trading decisions. So whenever we see this blue line cross above the black line, well, it's suggesting average prices are going to start moving higher, and therefore traders may want to look to take a long position. And you see here, since that signal came through, you're up about 16% just over the past 10 trading days, and even a small position here has you up about $2,700 in a pretty short period of time. But that's not the entirety of the VantagePoint predictive indicators and tools. If we look at the bottom of the chart, we see this bar that goes from green to red, back to green. And this solves a different problem over the very short term, essentially a 48-hour forecast of strength or weakness in the marketplace. And so this has a very high level of accuracy across a wide range of markets, upwards of 80+%. And that's whether there's earnings reports or Fed announcements or really anything going on. And again, across a very wide number of markets. And so you'll notice here that we have about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 trading days. We have one day where we could say that that day is incorrect, but you see as that neural index gets bullish again, that momentum picks up and the trend resumes here. So really exciting forecast here. And lastly, of course, we look at our VantagePoint predicted highs and lows. So not only do you have the overall predicted moving average for the overall trend, that short-term strength or weakness from the neural index, you also have an intraday predicted high and low. So now we're down to intraday levels where traders can set entries, limit orders, profit targets potentially. And so when we look back and say, how accurate are all of those forecasts against the actual trading day? Well, you see multiple entries here before this market really starts to heat up to get involved in the marketplace. So really exciting moves here again in energy. And I'm going to continue on with that theme because last week we looked at Scorpio Tanker. Well, here's Teekay Tanker. I make these videos on Friday morning and a lot of these tanker stocks are up very big in the pre-market here. So something is definitely going on here. And that's what VantagePoint's predictive indicators are good at picking up on. So here we see with Teekay the exact same approach, blue line crossing above the black line, neural index getting bullish. And you see these periods where the neural index goes bearish, you get the subsequent weakness over the next trading day, but the overall trend is clearly on the bullish side, with that predicted moving average still maintaining that position against the lagging moving average there. So again, we can look at these predicted highs and lows. And again, if traders are prepared and say, okay, well, I want to focus on the energy space, where should I be looking to accumulate a position? You see down here at these levels around $38, $39 per share, we see the market move up about 9% in just the past 8 trading days. And again, that's with a SPY and broader stock market really hasn't moved. And so this is where VantagePoint's tools like the VantagePoint IntelliScan helps traders identify, hey, where are these bullish crossovers happening, right? And especially in energy, it's a great example of how these global market relationships work. Obviously, energy stocks are going to be affected by the energy markets, crude oil, natural gas. And so this is where you really get an edge on a lot of other traders that don't have these predictive tools and are going to be getting in late after a lot of these strong rallies. Here's Flex LNG, so another energy stock, blue line crossing above the black line, neural index bullish going into this move. And you see, as you get a confluence of those indicators, a lot of momentum picks up here, and we get that really strong movement in the market. We can again look at those predicted highs and lows, and you see excellent entry at the start of this move. We can go back and look and say, okay, well, where are we at this point? And I'd imagine, based on what we're seeing, is we're going to see even more strength here through the sector, about a 14% rally in the past 9 trading days from those initial forecasts coming through. Dorian, we looked at last week. I wanted to bring this through because we'd gotten a gap up, but just over the last 4 trading days, again, we can say, okay, well, we're getting some sideways price action. You see, even here before this trading day, the VantagePoint predictive indicators are slanting down lower, saying, look, expect some weakness here. You say, may go lower still. You see the next trading day, you're shooting a little bit lower, but the overall trend is bullish here. And so what we see out of this individual stock, but again, the sector as a whole, really a lot of interesting things going on there, a lot of strength, and certainly a place that, makes sense to have some positioning. But let's go ahead and transition over to some other areas of the market. So when we look at Wynn Resorts, stocks like Wynn and Las Vegas Sands had some really nice rallies. There was a lot of commotion last September about, Chinese stocks. And so a lot of these operators that operate in China and Macau really did well and it went up 20, 30% rallies. But now we're seeing that in Wynn here, this blue line is crossing below the black line. And so you get these little flurries with the neural index. You sort of run sideways, a little consolidation there in the overall downtrend. But very clearly here, all you would want to do is short, take profits on shorts, maybe hedge some of your other positioning in the market. You see about a 14% decline in just the past 17 trading days. So definitely a spot that you don't want to be unless you're on the bearish side or on the short side or potentially buying some put options. Again, we can look at a really finer tune here as far as the predicted highs and lows and really hone in on daily price action. You see towards these predicted highs, well, that's where you may want to set those short positions and get out of the market. If you were on the long side, that'd be where it's screaming at you. Look, just go ahead and get out of the way before this trend resumes and we get more of a decline. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries there on the bearish side in a market that, has declined over, let's see, how many trading days again here? 17 trading days, about 7 entries over a 14% decline. Here's Royal Caribbean, so another sort of vacation, leisure stock here. Blue line crossing below the black line, neural index bearish. And you see, again, a perfect example of how all of these predictive indicators work together. Where's the overall trend? Well, that's clearly bearish. Neural index is bearish until here. And see, that's where our consolidation, sideways price action happens. Once it flips down to bearish again, then we see a resumption of the momentum. And of course, we take this intraday with predicted highs and lows. And again, you're not going to hit these levels every single day, but going to provide a good area to go ahead and set short positions within that downward trend. And I mean, this is pretty phenomenal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 excellent entries that just keep going lower. Even on the bullish side here, not the bullish side, but down at the predicted lows, you see that's where the bounces come in, right? So that's where you can take profit, reset the position, and potentially have multiple trades that are working for you as you cover shorts and reset at better prices. Again, we can look at the overall move here in Royal Caribbean. Shares off about 8% in just the past 18 trading days. Pretty, again, understanding where these markets are trading lower, right? The big sort of themes that are playing out can help you navigate your portfolio and then those individual opportunities better. Nike, sometimes looked really cheap over the past couple months, but as far as the VantagePoint forecast, well, we're seeing, look, blue line crossing below the black line, neural index bearish here, and clearly here for the last month, this has not been a stock you want to be involved in. And so we can take the exact same approach. You see here a little bit more sideways price action over this few weeks here, and you get that neural index popping up and the market really running sideways. But let's look at these predicted highs and lows. And so it gets very clear that all you'd want to be doing is shorting, take profits on shorts. Sometimes you get these days here where you don't move up to the predicted high, and next trading day, you move up there, but the overall trend, again, bearish here. And all you'd want to do is short, take profits on shorts, and look towards these ranges as a good place to establish those positions. So again, you've got about 10 entries or so on the bearish side as the market just keeps declining lower, and really just not an area that you want to be paying attention to, right? So, we see energies, copper, some mining stocks have actually looked very, very bullish here. And so that's really where the attention has gone, and seen some good rallies, where in other areas are just seeing the market, broadly run flat. And some of these markets actually doing quite poorly here, with about an 8%, 9% decline just over the past few weeks here in Nike. So we'll go ahead and leave it there for today. Once again, this has been our hot stocks outlook for January 10th, 2025. Thank you all for watching. Best of luck out there, and bye for now.